everyone, welcome back to Tenipoe Actual Speaking. I'm of course Jennifer Clyde. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now today's lesson is of course lesson 11 and we will be talking about health. So how do you take care of your health? How do you stay healthy? How do you stay fit? There is advice given by most doctors, and it is those who do not find time for exercise will have to find time for illness. Got it, right? So basically they're saying that exercising is very, very important. There's also another old saying. It says, after dinner, rest a while. And after supper, walk a while. Walking is a great way of exercise as well. We, of course, can do many things to improve our health, perhaps by taking baby steps toward better health. You can sleep more, eat healthy foods, you can exercise, you can cut out salt, be happy. What else? You can check your feet, people say. Checking your feet is very, very important. Maybe do it once a week or twice a week to see how your feet are doing. Also, floss daily and cut back the coffee. And most importantly, eat breakfast. Now, this is something very interesting that I found in a 2004 study that was published in the journal called Heart, and it said, build a network. Now, you might think, build a network? What does that have to do with health? But they said, if you survive a heart attack, you're half as likely to have a second heart attack within a year if you have close friends and family. That means friends and family are very, very important. Anyhow, we're talking about health today, so let's begin with our warm-up segment. Now, are you ready to get started? I hope you are. When it comes to talking about any topic, of course, you can focus on yourself, but you can talk about others as well. So let's begin taking a look at the 5 W's and how. First of all, we've got who. Now let's talk about whose health you are going to focus on. You of course can talk about yours, your health, or your parents' health, your siblings' health, your spouse's, or even your friend's health. If there's not much to say about yourself, you can always talk about other people as well, but focus on yourself, okay? The next W is with whom you exercise. This is also in the who category. So if you exercise to keep healthy, to stay fit, who do you exercise with? Of course, by yourself, with a friend or friends. You can perhaps go to a gym and have a trainer help you. You can talk about that. Or if you enjoy group activities or a team sport, you can talk about a group of people you exercise with, right? Or even talk about a team or a spouse. Your husband, wife, you may go to the gym together or enjoy a certain activity or sport together. You can also talk about those things. Let's move on to the next W, which is what? Now, let's talk about your health condition. Are you in good health? Are you in bad health? So we can talk about how you are healthy. In that case, you would say that you are in shape. What about the opposite? If you don't consider yourself healthy, you can say, I am out of shape. Meaning you need to exercise on a regular basis, you need to eat healthier and get in shape, right? Also, if you are overweight, I would say you are out of shape. You are not in shape, right? You can also have an illness. This is something you can mention in your talk. Also, you can talk about a time that you came down with something. What does this mean? To come down with something means to get sick. For example, if you say that you caught a cold, you can say, I came down with a cold, okay? So talk about certain things or an illness that you suffered from or that you experienced in the past. Moving on quickly to another what category. What activities do you enjoy? What activities do you engage in to keep healthy? All right, sports, you can also be a part of a club or a team. For example, a baseball team, a soccer team. I have a lot of friends that actually engage in baseball games or even soccer games on the weekends. So you can talk about that. What about swimming? Do you swim? Do you golf? Do you lift weights? Do you do weights? Do you go to the gym to lift weights? Talk about that. A lot of women and men these days really enjoy doing yoga. So talk about that. Do you meditate? This is, of course, for mental health, which is also very important in staying healthy. What about watch what you eat? This basically means to eat healthy. You are careful as to choosing what you eat. So you are trying to eat healthy, and that means you are watching what you eat, okay? Moving on, when do you exercise? Do you exercise regularly? When time allows, meaning when you have free time? Or you can talk about the time of the day or day of the week, perhaps. You exercise on the weekends. You can talk about that as well. Where do you work out? At the gym, home? You can go to a nearby park just outdoors, or even indoors. Another way of saying outdoors is open air, right? Open means it's wide open. So if you say open air, it means outdoors. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, why? Why do you exercise? Or why do you keep a diet? Why are you trying to stay fit or keep fit? You can talk about for a fit body, which means a healthy body, okay, a fit body. What about a flexible body? Yes, especially people that really enjoy doing yoga, they do it to increase their flexibility. So you can talk about wanting to have a flexible body. What about to increase your stamina, to tone your body, build a six-pack stomach? Six-pack, I know you all want that. What about to lose weight or gain weight? Now, people that exercise to gain weight are, I think, the lucky ones. Yeah, I'm worried about losing weight. I should lose weight. But yeah, you can also talk about wanting to gain weight. And that may be a reason as to why you work out or exercise. All right, quickly, this is our last category. How? How do you stay healthy? Okay, do you eat healthy? Do you watch your diet? Diet here means not to diet by losing weight, but diet here means food and drinks. It's a selection of food and drinks. So do you watch your diet? Meaning, once again, you are careful about choosing what you eat, okay? Moving on, do you get regular checkups, like medical checkups? Or do you stay away from salty foods, sugary foods? Or even, did you kick a bad habit? We'll be talking about what this idiomatic expression means in just a bit. So for now, brainstorm more on your own with some more cues of your own. All right, then let's move on and take a listen to today's actual talk.
Peter, what do you do to stay healthy?
Well, I try to get to the gym these days, but because of the babies, we don't have much time.
It's kind of a workout taking care of the baby.
It's definitely time consuming. And between that and work, I'm just too exhausted these days.
Yeah.
But I used to do a lot.
Okay.
I was very into running, ultra marathons.
Oh.
And I used to do triathlon as well.
Wow. So you must have been fit as a fiddle.
I tried to keep in shape.
That's
What about
good.
you?
I like to go to the gym a lot too, and I just recently picked up rock climbing, which actually works a ton of muscles.
That you didn't know you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is the next day you feel so sore because it feels like, oh, you worked out that muscle, like you said, that I didn't know I had. But I also like to eat healthy because that's also a really important way to have a good lifestyle, to keep in shape and stuff. So I try to eat lots of vegetables. Vegetables are, I feel like, key to my health.
Yeah, we need a lot more vegetables than most people eat.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like to eat good food? Are you healthy when you
I really
choose
do
your
try
meals?
to. Well, cooking, I can choose a lot better.
Right, that's true.
So I get more vegetables in my diet lately.
That's good.
And, I try to spend a lot of time, walking. Just to get some exercise even when I'm too busy,
Yeah,
and going up the stairs instead of the escalators, that kind of thing.
that's an easy way to get healthy. And
Yeah.
going outside, right, and enjoying the sun. Vitamin D is really good for your health as well.
Yeah. I had knee surgery a long time ago.
Okay.
And I had an office on the 12th floor of the building.
Oh, pretty
So
high.
I would walk up every day. I would never walk down because that's
Oh.
harder on the knees.
Okay.
But I would walk up to the office every day 3 times a day.
Oh.
And just doing that, I got in shape really fast afterwards.
That's awesome. I live on the 5th floor of my apartment. I think I should walk more often.
I think you should start walking.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, that was a conversation, actual talk between Peter and Rachel. Now, what did they talk about? Peter, for example, he said that he used to hit the gym quite often. He used to work out a lot before he actually had the 2 little boys. But now he doesn't have much time. He mentioned something about having surgery on his knees, and he's also trying to eat healthier right now as he can cook more at home. And Rachel, she said she just started learning rock climbing. She tries to eat more veggies, and they finished off by saying that maybe she should walk a bit more, which is great exercise. Okay, let's take a look at the conversation line by line. First of all, Rachel said, Peter, what do you do to stay healthy? So what do you do to stay healthy? And Peter said, well, I try to get to the gym these days. So he's not saying he goes all the time, but he tries, right? And he says, but because of the babies, we don't have much time. The reason he said we here is probably because, he's also talking about him and his wife. So the couple, they are unable to go to the gym these days because they don't have much time because of the babies, okay? Moving on. Now, Rachel says it's kind of a workout taking care of the babies. Now here, pay attention to this word workout, okay? Now, as a verb, to work out means to exercise, right? In that case, it is 2 words, work and then out. In this case, we have 1 word. The stress goes where? Workout on the first syllable. So workout means exercise as a noun. To work out means to exercise as a verb. So keep that in mind. One more time. Here it means exercise as a noun. So the stress goes where? On the first syllable. So it's workout. Workout. Good job. So moving on. Well, Peter says, well, it's definitely time consuming. And between that and work, I'm just too exhausted these days. Now, here we have time consuming, which means that it takes up a lot of time, okay? Consume means to use or use up. So we're taking time consuming means it takes up a lot of time, all right? And he says between that and work, I'm just too exhausted. I'm too tired to hit the gym. Now, but I used to do a lot. I was very into running ultra marathons. Now, ultra is a prefix meaning extreme. You're going to the furthest degree, right? So he used to do marathons, and I used to do triathlon as well. So triathlon, I know you know the difference between a marathon and a triathlon. A marathon is basically running many, many kilometers or miles. I think an ultra marathon perhaps starts from 50 kilometers even to 100 kilometers, but a triathlon, it's all about swimming, cycling, and running. So he used to be very, very active, right? Now, used to be is the key here. He used to do triathlon as well. So Rachel says, so you must have been fit as a fiddle. You must have been, meaning in the past. You must be, no, she's saying you must have been fit as a fiddle, meaning you must have been very, very fit. Now, this expression means to be extremely fit, very healthy, okay? Fiddle basically means an instrument, a violin, for example. This is a pretty old idiom, but basically it means fit as a fiddle, meaning, well, very, very healthy, so keep that in mind. Now, he says, I tried to keep in shape. I tried to in the past. And then he asks, what about you? Now, Rachel talks about how she went to the gym a lot too. And she said, I just recently picked up rock climbing. To pick up means to what? Pick something up from the floor. In this case, it means to learn something. So she says, I picked up rock climbing, meaning I just started rock climbing. I just started learning how to rock climb, which actually works a ton of muscles. Now, work here means to exercise, okay? Work a ton of muscles, meaning many, many muscles. It's great exercise. It's extreme exercise. Okay. Now, and the best part about is the next day you feel so sore. Sore means what? You are in extreme physical pain. But she's talking about the soreness as a good thing because it feels like you worked out that muscle you didn't know you had. Okay? So many times, of course, we work out at the gym, we do a lot of exercises, and then our back is sore, our arm is sore, and then we realize, yeah, I worked my arm muscles, I worked my back muscles. So she's saying that rock climbing is actually, strenuous exercise. She says, but you know, I also like to eat healthy because that's also a really important way to have a good lifestyle. A lifestyle is a way of living, right? A healthy way of living in this case because it's good lifestyle. Perhaps you can talk about your habits and the way of life and call it your lifestyle. And she says to keep in shape and stuff. Moving on. She says, so I try to eat lots of vegetables, and we're talking about staying healthy. She eats lots of vegetables, and vegetables are, I feel, key to my health. Now, key here means what? We're not talking about the key to your front door, the keys to your car. We're saying that it is very, very important. Key to my health meaning a very important factor to my health, okay? She's saying it's very important. Yeah, and Peter agrees we need more vegetables, and then Rachel says that's true. And then she asks, do you like to eat good food? Are you healthy, okay, when you choose your meals? So let's find out what he says. He says, I really do try to. Do try to meaning, I do try to eat healthy perhaps. And he says, cooking, I can choose a lot better. That's right. When you cook your own meal, you can choose the ingredients. You can choose healthy ingredients, right? So that is what he's saying. So he says, so I get more vegetables in my diet. Once again, we were brainstorming cues and the diet there meant what? Not to lose weight, but we're talking about a selection of foods and drinks that you take in or intake, right? So in my diet meaning foods. So he's trying to put more vegetables in the dishes that he cooks at home. I try to spend a lot of time walking just to get some exercise, even when I'm too busy, and going up the stairs instead of the escalators. So he walks up the stairs instead of taking the elevator or the escalator. Now, Rachel says that's an easy way to get healthy. Okay, it's an easy way because walking is a great way. It's very easy. And going outside and enjoying the sun. Vitamin D is really good for your health as well. Now, good for your health, remember, it's good for your health. Moving on. Now, he talks about having knee surgery on his knee a long time ago. And he said, I had an office on the 12th floor. And what did he do? So he would walk up every day, okay? I would never walk down because it's harder on the knee. Now, hard means difficult, but if you say that something is hard on something, it also means that it puts a lot of pressure or difficulty. It gives something or someone a hard time. So he's saying he had knee surgery, and he said going down the stairs is harder on the knees. It's bad for his knees, in other words. Now, but I would walk up to the office every day, 3 times a day. He's talking about frequency. And just doing that, I got in shape really fast afterwards. Okay, moving on. Now, Rachel says that's awesome. And she talks about how she lives on the 5th floor of her apartment. And she says, I think I should walk more often. And of course, Peter ends by saying, I think you should start walking. And Rachel agrees. So they talked about their experiences, the things they do to stay healthy, and perhaps what they can do in the future to become healthier. All right? Well, that about does it for our actual talk. So let's have a listen to it one more time with the subtitles.
Peter, what do you do to stay healthy?
Well, I try to get to the gym these days, but because of the babies, we don't have much time.
It's kind of a workout taking care of the baby.
Well, it's definitely time consuming. And between that and work, I'm just too exhausted these days.
Yeah.
But I used to do a lot.
Okay.
I was very into running ultra marathons,
Oh.
and I used to do triathlon as well.
Wow. So you must have been fit as a fiddle.
I tried to keep in shape.
That's
What about
good.
you?
I like to go to the gym a lot too, and I just recently picked up rock climbing, which actually works a ton of muscles.
That you didn't know you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is the like next day you feel so sore because it feels like, oh, you worked out that muscle, like you said, that I didn't know I had. But I also like to eat healthy because that's also a really important way to have a good lifestyle, to keep in shape and stuff. So I try to eat lots of vegetables. Vegetables are, I feel like, key to my health.
Yeah, we need a lot more vegetables than most people eat.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like to eat good food? Are you healthy when you
I really
choose
do
your
try
meals?
to. Well, cooking, I can choose a lot better.
Right, that's true.
So I get more vegetables in my diet lately.
That's good.
And I try to spend a lot of time walking, just to get some exercise even when I'm too busy,
Yeah,
and going up the stairs instead of the escalators, that kind of thing.
that's an easy way to get healthy. And
Yeah.
going outside, right, and enjoying the sun. Vitamin D is really good for your health as well.
Yeah, yeah. I had knee surgery a long time ago.
Okay.
And I had an office on the 12th floor of the building.
Oh, pretty
So
high.
I would walk up every day. I would never walk down because that's
Oh.
harder on the knees.
Okay.
But I would walk up to the office every day, 3 times a day.
Oh.
And just doing that, I got in shape really fast afterwards.
That's awesome. I live on the 5th floor of my apartment. I think I should walk more often.
I think you should start walking.
Okay.
Now let's focus on what you can talk about when having a conversation about your health or when you're actually doing an interview and talking about your health. Now, these are some very helpful and useful expressions when it comes to talking about your health. Perhaps you want to focus on good health. So if you are in good health, you can perhaps say, I've never felt better. I'm feeling wonderful. I've never felt better. And you can say, I'm fighting fit. To fight means to what? To fight someone. And fit means you're very healthy, in shape. So if you say, I'm fighting fit, it means I'm extremely healthy. So if you are in good health, say, I'm fighting fit. Let's check out another one. I work out regularly, so I'm fit as a fiddle. This is something we took a look at during our brainstorming cue segment. Now, fit means to, once again, be in shape, and fiddle is a violin. I don't know where the origin of this idiom actually is, but yeah, basically fit as a fiddle means to be very, very healthy, to be in shape. So just keep in mind you can use these expressions when you're talking about good health, okay? What about you're okay? You're okay, but not in really good health. You're just about in the middle. You're okay. You can say, I've had a bit of a cold, or I came down with a cold. Remember that expression? I've had a bit of a cold, but I can't complain, meaning you really can't complain. Now, when you say I can't complain, you are saying that things are okay. It's not good, it's not bad, you're just about in the middle. So you're okay, but not in really, really good shape. Try using this expression, okay? I can't complain. Now, you've recovered from an illness, perhaps. You can say, I was a bit sick. Okay, but now you're okay and now you feel better. But now I feel as right as rain. This means you are doing fairly okay. All right, you're doing average. You're doing pretty good. So especially if you have recovered from an illness, if you were sick and you feel better now, you don't feel perfect, you can say, I feel as right as rain. I was quite ill, but now I'm back on my feet. This is easy, right? If you are back on your feet, it means you are standing on your 2 feet and you are up and about, meaning you are feeling a lot better. You can move around. You're no longer in bed. So say, I'm back on my feet. Now, if you're not in good health, you can say, I'm feeling run down. Run down means to feel very, very exhausted, okay? I'm feeling run down. Another one, I'm feeling a bit off color. I think oftentimes when you are in good health, yeah, you look a lot better, right? But When you have a cold, when you're sick, how do we look? A lot of people tend to look pale, right? So you can say, I'm feeling a bit off color, meaning I'm not feeling too well, okay? Keep that in mind. Another one, I'm a bit out of sorts, okay? You are not in an orderly fashion. You are not in order, or things are not in order. Everything's here and there, it's all mixed up. You can say, I'm a bit out of sorts, meaning once again, you are not in good health. Now, efforts made to stay healthy, you can talk about how you make an effort to do something. I make a conscious effort to stay in shape every day, okay? And you can say the key to staying healthy. The key here means the important factor, right? The very, very important thing to keeping staying healthy is maintaining a balanced diet. Remember, diet here is the food and drinks you eat, that you consume. And maintaining a balanced diet means eating the right foods, getting the nutrients, eating the foods from every different diet group or food group. Also, the key to staying healthy is exercising regularly. All right, let's move on. It's essential to get regular checkups, also called medical checkups. All right, moving on. Efforts made to stay healthy. I stay away from. 멀리하다라는 말이죠. I stay away from sugar. I stay away from eating late at night, meaning you don't do these things. One more. I stay away from salty foods. Salt's very bad for you. You should stay away from salty foods if you want to be healthy, right? I try to steer clear of junk foods, also processed foods, such as canned foods, freezer foods, or packaged foods. Those are all processed foods. Now, steer clear of. To steer, okay, what does that mean? In a car, if you drive, it's often called a handle in Korean, but what do you steer? You steer the steering wheel. So if you steer clear of something, you are going in the other direction. You're steering away from something. So stay away from and steer clear of so-and-so means the same thing, all right? Once I kicked the habit of drinking, once I kicked the habit of smoking, I feel so much better. Kick the habit of something means to stop doing something, especially a bad habit like drinking too much or even smoking, all right? Let's quickly take a look at just one more. And we've got workout preferences. I'm into exercises that improve mental health and reduce stress. So mental, we're not talking about physical, we're talking about psychological, mental health. And walking is a wonder exercise and can be done anywhere. What is wonder? Comes from the word wonderful. If you say something is wonderful, it is amazing. So you are saying walking is a wonder exercise, meaning it is an excellent exercise. Amazing. It's the best exercise and it can be done anywhere. You don't have to worry about where to go to walk or when to go to walk. So these are some things you can talk about when you talk about staying healthy, perhaps when you're talking about exercises, and even keeping or maintaining a balanced diet. All right, that's about it for our actual talk expressions. Let's take a listen to the actual talk one more time.
Peter, what do you do to stay healthy?
Well, I try to get to the gym these days, but because of the babies, we don't have much time.
It's kind of a workout taking care of the baby.
It's definitely time consuming. And between that and work, I'm just too exhausted these days.
Yeah.
But I used to do a lot.
Okay.
I was very into running, ultra marathons.
Oh.
And I used to do triathlon as well.
Wow. So you must have been fit as a fiddle.
I tried to keep in shape.
That's
What about
good.
you?
I like to go to the gym a lot too, and I just recently picked up rock climbing, which actually works a ton of muscles.
That you didn't know you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is the next day you feel so sore because it feels like, oh, you worked out that muscle, like you said, that I didn't know I had. But I also like to eat healthy because that's also a really important way to have a good lifestyle, to keep in shape and stuff. So I try to eat lots of vegetables. Vegetables are, I feel like, key to my health.
Yeah, we need a lot more vegetables than most people eat.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like to eat good food? Are you healthy when you
I really
choose
do
your
try
meals?
to. Well, cooking, I can choose a lot better.
Right, that's true.
So I get more vegetables in my diet lately.
That's good.
And I try to spend a lot of time, walking, just to get some exercise, even when I'm too busy,
Yeah,
and going up the stairs instead of the escalators, that kind of thing.
that's an easy way to get healthy. And
Yeah.
going outside, right, and enjoying the sun. Vitamin D is really good for your health as well.
Yeah, yeah. I had knee surgery a long time ago.
Okay.
And I had an office on the 12th floor of the building.
Oh, pretty
So
high.
I would walk up every day. I would never walk down because that's
Oh.
harder on the knees.
Okay.
But I would walk up to the office every day, 3 times a day.
Oh.
And just doing that, I got in shape really fast afterwards.
That's awesome. I live on the 5th floor of my apartment. I think I should walk more often.
I think you should start walking.
Okay.
Job well done, everyone. Now, are you ready for a breather? So take a break, relax your muscles, stretch for your health, and let's take a look at today's idiom. Today's idiom is cast iron stomach. Stomach, we all know it's our stomach, 배죠, 혹은 위란 뜻도 있는데요. Cast iron, in Korean it means 무쇠. So cast iron stomach. Guess what it means? Here is a sentence. I don't know how you can eat that spicy food. You must have a cast iron stomach. I don't know how you eat that spicy food. You must have a cast iron stomach. So, the definition of cast iron stomach is in Korean 아주 튼튼한 위. Okay? So, it's a very strong stomach that can withhold or withstand bad food or anything nauseating without any discomfort or bad effects. Some people cannot eat really spicy foods because they feel really, really sick afterwards, right? So, if you feel fine after having spicy foods, you do have a cast iron stomach. Here's one more example sentence. My friend has a cast iron stomach. He puts 10 chili peppers in his ramyeon. I put about 5 in my ramyeon, but this person must have a really, really strong stomach, a cast iron stomach. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's idiom. Don't go anywhere.
What do you do to stay healthy? Talk about some things you do regularly for your health.
I try to follow my daily routines. First, I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I go to bed around 11:30 at night. And I try not to skip my meals. And I do exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week. And I prefer walking than taking a bus or subway. I think it's a very good exercise for me. And I like to meet my friend. And at that time, I laugh a lot and I talk a lot. So, at this time, I can release my stress. So these are my ways to keep my healthy.
Now, in today's lesson, we did mainly focus on doing exercises, eating healthy, working out regularly, and getting regular checkups. But it's true, as she mentioned, having a happy mind, a positive mind, and being happy, laughing a lot is also very, very important in staying healthy. So let's take a look at the dialogue and check out what were the good points and what were the oopsies as well, okay? All right, the first great part I want to point out is how she said, I try to follow my daily routines. Follow a routine here basically means, okay, to do things regularly, on a regular basis. So, for example, she might have meant that she has breakfast at a certain time, and then she takes a break at a certain time, has lunch at the same time every single day. So that is following a daily routine, okay? Moving on, another good point is, she said, I like to meet my friends. At that time, I laugh a lot and talk a lot. Now, one thing I do want to point out, this expression at the time, it's not necessarily needed. That's why I put it in parentheses. So even better without it, okay? But good point made. That's why I picked this line. I laugh a lot and talk a lot. Laughing a lot and talking a lot is, of course, great for your health. It's a great way of relieving stress and also key to having a positive mind. Okay, laugh a lot, everyone. Let's take a look at some oopsies. Now, she said, I prefer walking than taking a bus or subway. It's actually used a lot like this as well. I think even Peter mentioned this as well. But usually when you say you prefer something to something, you are comparing the two. So in most cases, you should say, I prefer walking to taking a bus or subway. This would be proper, but that is fine. I'm just pointing it out for you, okay? All right, moving on. These are my ways to keep my healthy. I know you caught this one too, right? This was pretty easy. I was like, oh, almost perfect. So these are my ways to keep my healthy. I think it should have been. These are my ways to keeping, or staying healthy, okay? So keep my healthy, no, okay? To keeping or staying healthy, or keeping my health would be okay as well. All right, I guess that about does it for our actual interview. I want to thank you for your time and effort and for a great interview. All right, everyone, do not go anywhere. Stick around. Now, I do try to go to our homepage to check your comments that you leave, your posts that you leave, and I do want to take a moment today and thank you for your warm comments and your support and, of course, interest in our program. Every comment and message means a lot to me and to the program, so keep them coming. And I do want to mention quickly, I do remember a comment asking about some information. Yeah, our viewer said, please continue on providing a lot of information and great expressions. So by any chance, if I'm unable to share the information that I have for the lesson each day, I will post it up on our homepage. So please do check out our scripts as well. Now, today we talked about keeping healthy, or talked about our health. I do think that many of you might have thought to yourself, I really should start taking care of my health. I really should start doing something to stay healthy or to get healthy. Well, I think having dedication and patience is key to staying healthy. So whether it's walking in the park or just going for a jog or a run, do something, everyone. Now, having a healthy mind, eating healthy, and a healthy body is, of course, key to living long and happily. I know it sounds easier said than done, but yeah, try to enjoy life, its ups and downs, and just try to have a happy mind. Happy thoughts and smile, everyone. Okay, that is all for today. I do want to remind you next time we'll be talking about sports, kind of related to our topic for today as well, but we'll be focusing on the sports you enjoy, the activities you enjoy. All right, so please do join me again next time. Until then, take good care, and once again, smile, everyone. Bye for now.